The Tales of the Trails program began in 1998 as a suggestion from the Yakima Sunrise Rotary. This would become the 4th Annual Rotary Storyfest, continuing the program that was previously held at the Yakima Valley Regional Library. For 3 years, the Tales of the Trails program at the Yakima Valley Museum brought together many diverse talents. In 2001, the most successful program ever combined the talents of 2 women in a program of storytelling, song, and historical education. Nancy Stewart is a national award-winning musician who has been writing and performing for young children and their families for 20 years. Featuring original and traditional songs, Nancy's 9 CDs for children can be heard in schools, homes, and libraries across the country. Her music workshops for teachers, parents, and librarians have been highly praised for their relevant, useful, and easy-to-use songs and ideas. Nancy has also shared the stage with Burl Ives, Shirley Jones, Bill Cosby, and Lily Tomlin at concerts and clubs across the United States and Canada. Nancy has performed for Tales of the Trails concerts in 1998 and 2000. New to the Tales of the Trails program in 2001 is singer-songwriter MaryLee Sunseri. MaryLee has recorded 9 albums for Piper Grove Music and for 15 years has led the Murata Band. Her many credits include soundtracks to Disney's The Apple Dumpling Gang and Elvis Presley's The Trouble with Girls. Recently, MaryLee has performed a musical and historical reenactment based on an Irish proprietress of a boarding house during the gold rush in California. Songs from the early 1800s are woven into this one-act, one-woman play. Nancy Stewart and MaryLee Sunseri have been singing and recording together for many years. Their album, Rhythm of the Rocks, won the American Library Association's Notable Children's Recording, as well as the Parents' Choice Award. The Tales of the Trails program features many songs from their album, Singing Side Saddle, which also won the Parents' Choice Award. These 2 amazing talents teamed up to create the newest Tales of the Trails program that combines story and song and is seen by over 2,500 children, teachers, and parents during its 4-day run at the Yakima Valley Museum. Many of the stories told during the program are based on true accounts and diaries of the Old West.
By the time some folks had reached the end of the trail and set up their first homes at the foot of the Oregon Cascade Mountains, all the supplies were used up and gone. The only sewing needle for miles around belonged to an old woman, Grandmother Drain. Well, now, here in our settlement, I had the only sewing needle that survived the trip. The only needle. Women are all alone out here, and it's many a mile to the nearest neighbor. Well, these women, they've got mending to do and no way to do it. Quilts to make and socks to darn and little children's clothes to mend. Well, these women folk were passing my needle around from neighbor to neighbor so as everyone would get a chance to do some sewing. Each one would use it for a few days and, well, then they'd send it on down the road to the next place. One neighbor down the way sent my traveling needle back with her son, Tom. Put a bright red thread running through the eye of that needle and stuck it in a potato so as he could keep track of it while running through the woods to my place. Well, young Tom came across a mother bear while he was on the way to my place, and while he was looking for a place to hide from that ferocious creature, he dropped the potato and my needle. Oh, my needle was lost for sure. When Tom didn't arrive back home, his mother put together a search party. Oh, they found Tom, and they found my needle, and brought it back to me. Can you imagine? My lamb? Grandmother Drain's needle broke eventually, and all the women were getting behind in their sewing until a peddler named Aaron Meyer came to town. When Tom told him the story of Grandmother Drain's traveling needle, he gave Tom a whole package of needles, enough for every woman in the community. And Aaron Meyer, the peddler, went on to start a great big department store called Meyer and Frank in the city of Portland.
Songs are intermixed with the stories and include familiar tunes that allow the children to sing along.
There's an old song the children sang when they headed west, and it was about a dog named Bingo. You ever heard that song? I thought so.
There was a farmer had a dog, and Bingo was his name. Oh, B-I-N-G-O, 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 and Bingo was his name. Oh.
Now let's take that B and put a clap in its place.
There was a farmer had a dog, and Bingo was his name. Oh, I-N-G-O, 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 and Bingo was his name. Oh, there was a farmer had a dog, and Bingo was his name. Oh, N-G-O, 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 and Bingo was his name. Oh, there was a farmer had a dog, and Bingo was his name. Oh, G-O, 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 and Bingo was his name. Oh, there was a farmer had a dog, and Bingo was his name. Oh, 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 and Bingo was his name. Oh, there was a farmer had a dog, and Bingo was his name. Oh, and Bingo was his name. Oh.
Nancy and MaryLee have targeted the program to include aspects of local history.
You know, by the middle of the 1800s and a little bit later, people were actually getting bored. They'd come all the way across the United States. Some of them had even gone to the gold rush. A couple of gentlemen I'm thinking about, Ben Snipes and John Jeffries, as a matter of fact, decided to buy a whole bunch of cattle. Now, you know what cattle is, right? Sure, it's a whole bunch of cows. And they decided to drive that cattle from California to Yakima Valley, where we are right now. Now, it's the 1800s. Did they put them in semi-trucks? No, but they had to drive the cattle. So how'd they do that? They got some horses, and they put some special people on those horses called cowboys. And those cowboys were wearing spurs. I got spurs that jingle, jangle, jingle as I go round merrily along, and they sing, oh, ain't you glad you're single? And that song is so very far from wrong. I got my horse, I got my horse, I got my rope, I got my rope, and I'm gonna make the trail upon the road. I got spurs that jingle, jangle, jingle as I go round merrily along, and they sing, oh, ain't you glad you're single? And that song is so very far from wrong. Got my guitar, I got a song, and if you get a hankering, come on and sing along. I got spurs that jingle, jangle, jingle as I go round merrily along, and they sing, oh, ain't you glad you're single? And that song ain't so very far from wrong. I got spurs, 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 I got spurs.
Throughout the program, songs and stories allow for audience participation.
Just to take this precious object, put it behind your back, make sure your hands are nice and tight when they come out, okay? We're going to sing the chant. Are you ready? He-na, 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 say yes. How about another helper? You want to be a helper? I see you got your name tag on Katie. Put that behind your back, and we're all going to do the chant. Are you ready? You need your hands on your knees. Hina, 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 hina. Katie, bring your hands out. My friends, if you think it's in this hand, say yes. If you think it's in this hand, say yes. More of them. Say, okay, good job. You pulled them. And one more. We'll do it one more time. You come here. Oh, what's your name? Miguel. This is behind your back. All right, hands behind your back. And the rest of us are going to make the chant with our hands on our knees. Are you ready? Hina, 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 hina. Miguel, put your hands out this way. My friends, do you think it's in this hand? Say yes. Let's hear that one, Miguel. Thank you so much. Thank you, everybody.
Children enjoy the many opportunities to see their classmates on stage.
In polite company, the emigrants would call it bois de vache, buffalo chips, or meadow muffins. Buffalo gals, come out tonight, come out tonight, come out tonight. Oh, buffalo gals, come out tonight, dance on tonight. Oh, buffalo gals, come out tonight, come out tonight, come out tonight. Oh, buffalo gals, come out tonight, dance on tonight. I'm gonna do some dancing up here. I need some dancing partners. So you know how to dance? You should. You want to come? You want to come? Sing. You want to come? Sing. Let's go. Come on. We'll make a big circle. Hold hands. Hold hands. Make a big old circle. So we'll come. Okay, come on. All right, now come this way. We're going to close up our circle. Make it a circle. Are you ready? Here we go. Walk around and around. Oh, round and around we go. Around we go. Around we go. Oh, round and around we go. Dance like one love. Into the middle and out again. Into the middle and out again. Walk into the middle and out again. Dance like one love. Round and around. Round and around we go. Round we go. Round we go. Round and around we go. Dance like a lot of the one more. Into the middle and out again. Into the middle and out again. Into the middle and out again. Dance like a lot of the round. Buffalo gals, won't you come out tonight? Come out tonight. Come out tonight. Oh, buffalo gals, won't you come out tonight? Dance like a lot of them. Dance like a lot of them.
Stories and songs in the Tales of the Trails program tell of life in the Old West.
And one of the tribes that helped them the most was the tribe called Lakota Sioux. This is one of their flutes. May it be beautiful before me. May it be beautiful behind me. May it be beautiful below me. May it be beautiful all around me. May it be beautiful before me. May it be beautiful behind me. May it be beautiful below me. May it be beautiful all around me.
Before settlers could head west, it had to be opened up. And Thomas Jefferson hired Lewis and Clark to explore the West Lands in 1804. And they met Sacagawea, a young Shoshone woman, who wound up showing them the way, showing them food to eat, and a couple of times even saving their lives. Sacagawea was only 10 years old when she was kidnapped and sold to a neighboring tribe. that's when she met Lewis and Clark. She had this little baby which she carried on her back the whole time she was helping them. She was only 10 years old when she was taken from her family. Her mother and father no more would she see. She was sold to a man who made her his wife, and she had a little baby, and she had a new life. Sacagawea, Sacagawea. And the white man named Lewis and Clark asked her to lead their way to the new land, and a voice who would speak Sacagawea, Sacagawea. So she packed up her baby and she packed up his things. With a board on her back, she would do everything. With her baby on her back, Sacagawea, Sacagawea. The sun and the snow, she did leave these white strangers, and she found them food to eat, and she kept them from danger. With her baby on her back, Sacagawea, Sacagawea. And the wind it blew hard on the water that day, and that wind swept their boats and their food all away into the cold running water. This brave woman did go, and she brought back their books and their food and their clothes. With her baby on her back, Sacagawea, Sacagawea. Now if you should travel to where they once stayed, you'll see the statue of a woman who showed them the way. This brave Shoshone woman who never complained, as she led them through the sun and the snow and the rain. With her baby on her back, Sacagawea, Sacagawea.
Many songs and stories were developed by MaryLee and Nancy for the Tales of the Trails program. This focus helps continue the educational mission of the Yakima Valley Museum.
Well, you know, cooking was kind of tricky on the trail. It took women a while to figure out how to use their recipes from home because, well, you didn't have a lot of time to prepare. You couldn't do anything till you stopped for the night, and you had to take all those buffalo chips and make a fire. And so they really wanted butter. But the way they made butter at home using a butter churn, you put the cream in the crock, and you take the dasher and work it up and down and up and down and up and down a whole lot of times until that turned into butter. Well, there were two problems with this on the trail. First of all, the crock was breakable and heavy, and so you probably wouldn't bring it. And also, who wanted to go through all that work but still have to build a fire and cook a meal? So the women figured out another way to make butter. They'd milk the cows and then take the cream and put it into a bucket and hang that bucket on the wagon. Now, we talked about how those wagons were really bumpy as they went along all day. Well, you can imagine by the end of the day, that cream bumping along in the bucket would turn into butter. Exactly, and they would have butter if they were lucky to go with their Johnny cakes.
Making Johnny cake. Of all the ladies in our party, my mom makes the finest Johnny cake. This here is her recipe. 1 cup of boiling water, half a cup of cornmeal, 1 teaspoon of salt, butter, if there is any to be had. Make a bit of butter for biscuits, Patty. Make a bit of butter and we'll have it tonight. Make a bit of butter for biscuits, Patty. Make a bit of butter and we'll have it tonight. Milk the cows in the morning, Patty. Milk them in the morning for butter tonight. Milk the cows in the morning, Patty. Milk them in the morning for butter tonight. Make a bit of butter for biscuits, Patty. Make a bit of butter and we'll have it tonight. Make a bit of butter for biscuits, Patty. Make a bit of butter and we'll have it tonight. Hang the monkey on the wagon, Patty. Hang it on the wagon for butter tonight. Hang the monkey on the wagon, Patty. Hang it on the wagon for butter tonight. Make a bit of butter for biscuits, Patty. Make a bit of butter and we'll have it tonight. Make a bit of butter for biscuits, Patty. Make a bit of butter and we'll have it tonight. Pump it up and down on the wagon, wagon. Pump it up and down with butter tonight. Pump it up and down, make it up with the wagon. Pump it up and down with butter tonight. Make a bit of butter for biscuits, Patty. Make a bit of butter and we'll have it tonight. Make a bit of butter for biscuits, Patty. Make a bit of butter and we'll have it tonight. Now, when you make your Johnny cake, Ma says you must excuse her as she can't give you any notion of how long it takes. If it rains, or if your pots fall into the fire, well, you'll have plenty of trouble. Let us hope your Ma is not a swearing woman. Make a bit of butter for biscuits, Patty. Make a bit of butter and we'll have it tonight.
A diverse and entertaining program, Tales of the Trails provides an enjoyable experience for students of all ages.
Have you ever been on a wagon? Yeah. Oh my goodness. You know, when people decided they were going to head west, they thought, well, they would just get on that wagon and ride all the way out there. Well, it turns out it was such a bumpy ride that just about everybody decided to walk instead, right next to their wagons. But I'm going to have all of us get on a wagon right now. And can you wiggle and waggle a little bit like you would on a wagon going down a bumpy dirt road? And then we're going to jiggle and jaggle because the road ends and we're just out there on the prairie. And we're going to hit a great big pothole and up our hands going like this, up and down. And then we're going to holler out, wagons ho. Wagons ho! Let's put all that together. You wiggle and you waggle and you jiggle and you jaggle and you're up, down, wagons ho! That's it. Hitch up the oxen. Load up all the food and clothes. We're heading west on the wagon. Everybody ready? Come on, let's go. We're heading west in the wagon. With a wiggle and a waggle and a jiggle and a jaggle and an up, down, wagon ho! Wiggle and a waggle and a jiggle and a jaggle and an up, down, wagon ho! We like it fast, we like it slow. We're heading west in the wagon. If you don't like the box, then you better not go. We're heading west in the wagon. With a wiggle and a waggle and a jiggle and a jaggle and an up, down, wagon ho! Wiggle and a waggle and a jiggle and a jaggle and an up, down, wagon ho!
Well, you would be walking for another reason. You, as children, would have a very important job, and that would be to collect buffalo chips. You know what those are? Well, anybody here ever cleaned up after your dog? Well, this dog leaves behind. Those would be dog chips. These are buffalo chips. Yeah. Now, you're wondering, what the heck would you be using buffalo chips for? Well, out on the prairie, there wasn't any firewood. And the only way you could cook is to build a fire at night. So you need something else that would burn. And you know what? Those buffalo chips burn very well. So you can collect them all day long. Jump down, we got the buffalo chip. We're heading west in the wagon. Careful in the mud, don't slip. We're heading west in the wagon. With a wiggle and a waggle and a jiggle and a jaggle and a up, down the wagon. Waggle and a jiggle and a jaggle and a up, down the wagon. What do you do at the journey's end? We're heading west in the wagon. Put down roots and make new friends. We're heading west in the wagon. With a wiggle and a waggle and a
Tales of the Trails program continues to provide experience-based learning in an exciting program that combines storytelling, song, and historical education.
She'll be coming round mountain when she comes. She'll be coming round mountain when she comes. She'll be coming round mountain. She'll be coming round mountain. She'll be coming round mountain when she comes. She'll be driving 6 white horses when she comes. She'll be driving 6 white horses when she comes. She'll be driving 6 white horses. She'll be driving 6 white horses. She'll be driving 6 white horses when she comes. And we'll all go out to meet her when she comes. Oh, we'll all go out to meet her when she comes. Oh, we'll all go out to meet her. We'll all go out to meet her. Oh, we'll all go out to meet her when she comes. And we'll all have chicken and dumplings when she comes. Oh, we'll all have chicken and dumplings when she comes. Oh, we'll all have chicken and dumplings. We'll all have chicken and dumplings. Oh, we'll all have chicken and dumplings when she comes. And we'll have to sleep with Grandma when she comes. Oh, we'll have to sleep with Grandma when she comes. Oh, we'll have to sleep with Grandma. We'll have to sleep with Grandma. Oh, we'll have to sleep with Grandma when she comes. She'll be coming round mountain when she comes.